Well, let the war propaganda begin, as it is at an all-time high right now.
تكون هنالك مفاجأة كبيرة هذه الليلة وسيتذكرها
Along with the fake AI videos and just mass misinformation campaigns that are going on right now, trying to excuse one of the most dangerous escalations that we have just seen unfold in modern day American politics, as a lot of the MAGA base is disenfranchised, confused, and dazed at the very aggressive moves being made by Donald Trump that were also a part of a larger disinformation campaign that lied to all of us, as we have a lot of things to really think about in hindsight to how all of this was built up, as there's a lot of people now not understanding the bigger ramifications and how all of this is going to now lead. Everyone's saying, oh, it's just one and done. It's just 2 weeks to slow the spread. We're going to get this done very quickly. Don't understand what they're actually talking about here. And if you appreciate nuanced conversations, that, by the way, predicted these strikes, a lot of content creators are like, I just don't want it to happen, so it's not going to happen. I'm like, you naive little simpleton. Okay, we faced the tough realities. We swallowed the black pill, and we told you last week. We told you 7 days ago exactly. The order has been given. It's approved. Trump is going to strike Iran. We told you this. We told you this on his channel. If you appreciate that type of hindsight, subscribe, click notification, the notification button. As of course, now we enter a new realm and territory of World War III. I didn't say it. Steve Bannon said it.
Another big weekend in this unfolding aspect of the Third World War. And no, anyone...
Yep. And then he goes on, if you think you're not paying attention to what's going on here. As now the terror alert has been raised after Donald Trump is claiming that he obliterated Iran's nuclear sites. The job's not done. It's not going to be done. That's not a part of the plan here. Okay. People think, and they're telling themselves all these nice little things, all these little buffoons are like, it's just one and done. It's going to be great. It's going to be over now. It's not. This is just the beginning of the ride. It gets a lot more bumpy. It gets a lot more crazy here, as now the American people have to deal with terror threats domestically inside of the United States, as we just had 4 years of open borders. And now we're saying, yeah, we're gonna kick it off with one of the biggest sponsors of terrorism. Not the biggest, one of the biggest sponsors of terrorism in the world. Let's just piss them off. Let's just bomb them right now. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Said nobody except for pro-war hungry neocons that previously were never Trumpers. Again, so many confusing things here are going on here, as U.S. officials have now just raised the National Terrorism Advisory System alert to a heightened threat, as there are rumors about sleeper cells, about criminal terrorist organizations that made it into the United States without being checked here. As now Marco Rubio is warning about how Iran could even face bigger strikes from here, especially if they decide to retaliate. They're going to retaliate in one way or another. The United States is going to respond here, and it's just that's how it evolves. Bada bing, bada boom. We got regime change again. Yay! That worked out really great, as the Israelis have been striking the Iranian port of Bushehr, and a lot of people expect now the Iranians to block the Strait of Hormuz, which their government just voted and approved of. Now, again, Lindsey Graham's out here. He's like, there's not going to be troops on the ground. It's not going to be advantageous for them to have troops on the ground, predominantly because the Iranians have very mountainous territory that makes it extremely difficult to fight any kind of wars on. The bombing campaigns are going to be as effective as they are against the Houthis. Let's just be real with ourselves. I mean, the Iranians have been aiding and abetting and advising the Houthis. And the United States has been bombing them with Saudi Arabia in order to help out Al-Qaeda in the region for a very long time. And guess what? The Houthis are still around. The Houthis look like they're more emboldened than ever. As U.S. intervention failed in Afghanistan, it failed in Libya. So it's just going to be another Libya model. Probably that's going to be unfolding here as, again, now Marco Rubio is floating around the idea of regime change. Yeah, this is what it's all about. This is what it's going to lead to. People eventually, we're not going to get here overnight, but eventually regime change is going to be, the name of the game here. China's pissed off. Russia's pissed off. And this is when it's important to look at things like Taiwan and Ukraine, as the Iranian parliament just voted to close the Strait of Hormuz. Now, the Ayatollah will be deciding what he will be doing, as of course this move will also be affecting China, not just the United States, but also global world markets. Now, the territory here is very shallow, it's very small, it's very easy to kind of take control of, and they could just put up a bunch of mines in there, and then boom, Persian Gulf export oil trade is just significantly reduced, making oil prices and the prices of energy, the prices of everything else just going up. And as Tim Pool says, gas prices are about to skyrocket. U.S. will deploy to secure the strait. Iran will strike U.S. personnel and assets. U.S. will invade. I wouldn't say the U.S. is going to be invading here. I think this is going to be more of a Libyan model type of approach here, in my personal opinion, because of the terrain that the Iranians have that are to their advantage that the United States wouldn't play into. Before talking about that, as we now are getting some questions about this strike and if it actually worked, before getting into that, we wanted to tell you about We Are Change.shop. We just launched a new vitamin C, and of course, our flagship product is ashwagandha. I like ashwagandha. Not everyone should take it. You should do your own research, but when you're dealing with a lot of stress, a lot of cortisol, it helps you normalize your hormone levels. And there's actually someone on Twitter talking about this recently, Letty LLC, saying ashwagandha is nature's hormones stabilizer. It reduces cortisol, boosts testosterone, and improves sleep. But almost no one uses it correctly. Here's what you need to know and how to actually get results here, as ashwagandha is a very powerful adaptogen. Some people should not be taking it if they should not be taking adaptogens. You shouldn't take it too much here, but in a 60-day study, it lowered cortisol by 27%. Stress scores dropped by 44%, and people participated better mood, energy, libido. As this is some powerful stuff here that has personally helped me. Will it help you? I don't know. I hate telling people it's going to do this for you. It shows in some people. Everybody is unique. Everybody is different. Okay. As there are multiple results here, but some people, again, especially if you're pregnant, especially if you have certain health ailments, you should not be taking ashwagandha. Do your own research before putting anything else into your own body. Talk to your medical professionals. And right now, I just started taking some. You know why? Because it's stressful. It's really stressful to deal with the current situation that we are dealing with right now. That will only devolve from here. Okay. It's pretty clear we're being brought closer and closer to a situation that there's no going back from. As Reuters reports here, U.S. strikes on Iran's nuclear sites are real-life tests of hard power limits. As you could bomb these sites, but will that actually make the difference here? Will that actually impact something here for the benefit of us, or will it just create a situation where now all hell is going to break loose? And I think we're being brought to a situation where all hell is going to break loose. Now, the government today is bragging about their kind of psyops and disinformation that they used for this type of military action that the Israelis were working with the U.S. intelligence on for over a year. You heard that correctly. Under Joe Biden's presidency, the Israelis and the American military and intelligence services were working together on this particular strike. Donald Trump gave it the go-ahead and said, yeah, go ahead, go do this. And he was a part of a psychological disinformation campaign that tricked us. Let's just be honest with ourselves. As we have Jennifer Griffin on Fox News talking about how the U.S. engaged in systemic deception campaigns over the past week as they were, of course, doing head fakes. Now, the head fake stuff makes sense, but when you look at some of the policy decisions, some of the kind of rhetoric, some of the kind of Middle Eastern trips and kind of signaling that was being done by Donald Trump. It looks like a lot of that was done deliberately in order to deceive his constituents in order to make the Middle East believe that nothing was going to happen. It looks like that was the current situation that was going on here.
Well, Brett, I think we have to look back at the news that broke earlier today, those 6 B-2 bombers that were heading west towards Guam. They would not have made it to Iran in time to take part in this strike. So that suggests to me that there was an additional B-2 package that perhaps flew eastward from Whiteman Air Force Base.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. They faked them out just to see their air defenses, and then they brought in the real ones from the other site here, as now we got new satellite images showing that there was activity at this nuclear facility right before the United States decided to strike it. I wonder what that is. As people are saying, Iran expected the U.S. to strike and moved out their nuclear stuff on June 19th and June 20th before the U.S. attacked. Iranian authorities have repeatedly stated that the targeted nuclear facility has been evacuated days earlier. Photos show trucks gathering near the entrance of the main facility to evacuate likely the centrifuges and other equipment. The strikes were predictable, as even, quote, he announced them that they were probable. We told you they were happening. As now the question remains, wait, were they able to get rid of all of their stuff and these strikes were kind of pointless here? As now you're going to have other people saying, we got to go and finish the job again. We got to go in again. Oh, no. As, you know, there's photos of the damage being done here, as this was the exact type of scenario that literally unfolded in the latest Top Gun movie. Now, Dmitry Medvedev, the former president of Russia, and a very big Russian political figure, came out and said, what have the Americans accomplished with their nighttime strikes on 3 nuclear sites in Iran? 1, critical infrastructure of the nuclear fuel cycle appears to have been unaffected or sustained only minor damage. The enrichment of nuclear material, and now we can say it outright, the future production of nuclear weapons will continue. A number of countries are ready to directly supply Iran with their own nuclear warheads. Listen, that's a very tough talk here from someone who is very tied in with Vladimir Putin here. Now, he goes off and lists 10 other things. A lot of people are saying this is just propaganda. This is not true. It's not really happening here. But look, listen, Pakistan, China, Russia, North Korea, they're all looking at everything that's kind of happening here. And there's concern to think about what's going on here. But not for Dave Rubin. Dave Rubin says, and that's a wrap. Unfollow grifters accordingly. It's going to end here. Really? Really? You think their cyber warfare programs are going to end? Do you think their sponsorship of terrorism is going to end because you rattled their beehive and bombed one of their facilities and attacked them directly? Right? That's a war, okay? You think that the likelihood of them blocking the Strait of Hormuz and the U.S. not responding here? You saw what the United States did. The Houthis threatened to attack cargo ships. The last time they attacked it was months and months and months ago. But they threatened to attack them again, and the United States started bombing them into oblivion. You think this is all going to end now? You think this is all going to stop now? That is just... And again, when you look at his type of reporting on here, it's like, oh, no, you got to listen to Trump here. Trump's going to do the right thing here. Mm-hmm. And no, Trump, he says whatever is convenient here. And there's no political accuracy here. It's just flagging in the wind whenever the intelligences blow him or her or whatever, blow in his direction. Sorry, pardon me. As now we have Congressman Thomas Macy coming out on national media saying 3 bombs and we're done. It could be the new version of 2 weeks to slow the spread, and I absolutely agree with that. Now, the disinformation campaign is a little bit more nefarious thinking about it because we were reporting on it, too. We'd be like, whoa, holy cow. It looks like Israel and the United States are at odds with each other. They're saying a lot of things behind the scenes against each other, and Donald Trump is making a lot of big symbolic moves against them. And he looks like he's actually trying to get rid of the hostages and free them. It looks like Israel's not allowing the hostages. It looks like Trump is trying to do a ceasefire, and they're not listening to him. All of that was a ruse, as Michael Tracy puts it. Trump and his administration engaged in a brazen campaign of systematic propaganda and deception, outright lying to the American public about a war they were manufacturing, and the psycho Hants will loyally rationalize it because they appreciate being lied to by their dear leader. It's a little bit more of a harsher statement here, as of course John Bolton, neocon John Bolton, is happier than a pig in ish here, as he's saying, listen, we're on the verge of seeing a regime change, and that's a great thing.
Thank you for being here. Were you surprised that President Trump took such decisive action?
Well, let me say this unequivocally. I think President Trump made the right decision for America to attack Iran's nuclear weapons program. And I think we're on the verge of potentially seeing regime change in Iran as part of that. I think this is a huge change in the Middle East. It was a decisive action. It was the right thing to do. I thought somebody should do it for a long time, but better late than never.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but John Bolton hated Donald Trump, okay? John Bolton was praying Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley's celebrating today. John Bolton's celebrating today, which kind of makes me wonder, what in the hell is Donald Trump thinking here? He bombed Iran for the sole benefit of a country that previously sold our military secrets and assets to China. He just demoralized and isolated his base in favor of a small niche group of war-thirsty neocons that previously were never Trumpers or Ron DeSantis supporters. I don't understand what in the world is going on here. And again, people are like, it's a surgical strike here. It's going to end here. First it's going to end because Trump's not involved. First, that's what they said. Trump's not involved here. He didn't greenlight this. No. He did. He was a part of a psychological propaganda campaign to put us in this position. Trump's not going to bomb this. No. He did. It's going to end now. I promise. It's not. Oh. Maybe I should have listened to you all along. Maybe you should have. Listen, the base is fractured, and Owen Schroyer has been specifically saying, there's not going to be a lot of people voting for the Republicans in the midterms now, especially with how betrayed and backstabbed a lot of people feel they are. I mean, Laura Loomer came out and talked about how Nikki Haley called for the U.S. to bomb Iran, and that Nikki Haley wanted war in the Middle East and more U.S. Dead soldiers. And then she wrote, the only person who has proven that he won't create more wars is Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a pro-peace candidate. Well, Laura should be mad about Donald Trump not keeping his promise. But she's mad at everyone else that's saying, hey, listen, he promised us something. We're his constituents, and he wasn't telling the truth to us. Iraq veteran says, we learned today that voting doesn't work. Yep. And Mike Cernovich here talks about, hey, I didn't care about Trump's past kind of aggressive actions here. But the attacks were a big FU to the base. No more excuses. Yep. And a big FU that a lot of people won't ever forget. And listen, we got to ask ourselves, why did this happen? Well, it looks like the narrative control was specifically done in a way where Donald Trump was being fed information exclusively from John Ratcliffe and General Erlich Kurilla, as well as having other influences like Sean Hannity and these other neocons on Fox News that kept saying, hey, we got to do this. It's for our freedom. They're going to attack New York City. They're the ones that tried to take Trump's life. That's ridiculous, okay? All right, that's a ridiculous assertion, and for Donald Trump to regurgitate stuff like that, it's really troublesome to say the least here. Now, in the making of today's video, there's still so many pro-war bots out there and sock puppet accounts and accounts that clearly are just there to propagandize and to lie to people. You getting this information out there to the general public is more important than ever, as this is truly going to ratchet up to a situation that is going to be unattainable, that is going to be extremely difficult. And we are entering into the fourth turning. We are entering into some very, very difficult times here that, oh, goodness gracious, Fox News, at least one of the B-2 bomber pilots took part. It was a female. Oh, yeah. Yeah, boomer. Yeah. This is the perfect meme. They say the next one will be sent by a woman. It really makes you feel like you're part of history. Goodness gracious. What is wrong with these people here? I mean, truly not much has changed. A lot of people feel disheartened. There's no other way to feel about this. Expect some major things to go down. Expect this not to end here. Mark my words, again, like you marked my other words. Wishful thinking is one thing, but let's face a little bit of a dose of reality. And if you appreciate that, thank you so much for being a part of this channel. Thank you so much for checking out our products and supporting us and subscribing to us and being here, a part of this independent media outlet.